Welcome back. All right, news of the day video for all you fine people on the internet for your Saturday. It is November the 29th. It's an 11-game day today. I'll be doing 2 review videos, though. There's 3 matinee games and then 8 evening games, so it'll be full notes, that kind of thing today. Unlike yesterday, where it was the modified reviews, of course. But let's go ahead and jump in at the top of the board. Kyle Palmieri, an absolute beast. The guy tears his ACL in the game last night, gets up and skates off, and also gets the puck to his teammate and gets an assist on the play. That is just ultimate hockey player kind of thing. You tear your ACL and get up and skate off. So what's holding your knee up? Willpower. So it's been revealed he's going to have surgery for the ACL tear, of course, to repair it. It's on his left knee, and he's going to be out 6 to 8 months. So 8 months would mean he doesn't come back at all. 6 months would mean they'd have to be a ways into the playoffs before he'd return. In all likelihood, the season's done for Kyle Palmieri at this point. But yeah, being able to do that and record an assist there, just absolute warrior move on his part. And hopefully he can come back sooner than the 6 months. I'm hopeful that he can come back by the end of the regular season. Just after seeing that footage. Just absolutely amazed he could get up and skate off. Really, honestly. Lucas Dostal, this was revealed yesterday by the Ducks. It's on the board today. Upper body injury. He's out 2 to 3 weeks. So Husso got them the win yesterday. They'll go with Husso and Mrazek for now. And they'll hold the net together until Dostal comes back. The good news, of course, is the Ducks can score goals. So in this case, without Dostal, they're just going to have to outscore the goaltending if the goaltending doesn't quite measure up on a given night. But yeah, the Ducks are a team that can score goals, so I think they'll be okay. The Utah Mammoth, the reason I'm wearing the Mammoth jersey and hat today, or at least this is the Utah Hockey Club jersey. I don't have the Mammoth jersey as of yet. Clayton Keller, playing yesterday after the passing of his father. I honestly... nothing but respect for him for that. He was given the first star in that game against Dallas, which I think was a nice, classy move by Dallas as well. So, yeah, Clayton Keller, we'll see if he needs any time away from the team. I haven't seen one way or the other. Tough news when you're less than a month away from Christmas. So, if he needs some time, I'm sure Utah will give that to him. And if he wants to work while he's going through his grief, some people do that. So, nothing but respect for Keller on that, and my condolences to him, family, friends, anyone affected by his father's passing. The Minnesota Wild, yesterday, with the win over Colorado, their win streak hit 7 games. So Colorado's ends at 10. 7-game winning streak for the Minnesota Wild. They're playing well. And Kaprizov surpasses 200 goals. And I think he's the 5th fastest of players drafted in the 5th round or later. 4th or 5th fastest to reach 200 goals. In terms of late draft picks. Yeah, Kaprizov's been fantastic for them. And, yeah, Minnesota's looking pretty good. Wallstead also, his personal point streak, I think he's got points in 9 straight starts. He's 7-0-2. Yeah, Minnesota's playing really well. So, it was nice to see them get that win over Colorado yesterday. And we'll see what happens from here and if that gets them some more attention for the streak that they've been on. Sidney Crosby, and I mentioned this in the review yesterday too, but I'll throw it on the board here. With his 640th career goal, he tied Dave Andreychuk for 15th all time. There are 2 that I think he could still realistically catch before the season's done. Shanahan's got 656 goals in his career, so that's only 16 from Crosby. And then Robitaille at 668, 28 more goals. Might be a bit of a stretch for Crosby, but you never know. So that, of course, would put him all the way up to 13th if he can pass Robitaille before the season's done. But the one thing with Crosby is he might be 38, but he still plays like he did 10, 15 years ago. So is there anybody who I think Crosby can't catch other than Ovechkin and Gretzky? Maybe not. Maybe he can catch the others. Although I guess the 801 by Howe, I mean, that'd be 161 goals from here. That's a bit much, right? So probably not Howe either. We'll see how high he ends up on the list. We know that he's going to be amongst the top point producers all time when his career's all said and done. And yeah, and then we can have the debate about who the greatest of all time is, which is going to depend on when you were born, who you watched, and who you looked up to, and all that fun stuff. So the Calgary Flames did make it official yesterday that upper management, which includes general manager Craig Conroy, given 2-year extensions beyond what they already had. So they're all signed through the 2027-2028 season. Basically, the management team's going to be in place. They get the new building opens up. And I kind of get the feeling that maybe that's what Calgary's looking towards. maybe the plan here would be to go through the retool / rebuild they're going through, and then have themselves back into a position where they can be a playoff contender and a pretty good team for the new building. So we'll see if that's how things end up tracking, but Conroy, I think, has done a good job, and we'll see how the Flames do from here. But that building's getting built, which we'll talk about buildings getting built in a bit here. But first off, the NHL.com site today, talking about the Hart Trophy, and McKinnon, according to the NHL.com writers, is the runaway leader for the Hart Trophy. That would be my vote as well. Interestingly, Connor Bedard of the Blackhawks, second in the voting, and Macklin Celebrini of the Sharks, third. I can't argue with that. Bedard and Celebrini have both been fantastic. Celebrini's kind of single-handedly dragging San Jose some nights to victories or to at least points, and it's been kind of fun to watch. So, but McKinnon's having an absolutely ridiculous season. I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up winning the Hart Trophy. So the Olympics. The Olympics are upcoming. The women's tournament starts in 68 days. The men's tournament starts in 74. Arena's not done. And the NHL, of course, has raised some concerns. The Olympic Committee shot back with, no, it'll be fine. There's nothing to worry about. But it feels like they're starting to get a little bit concerned. The arena's completion is going to go down to the wire. Basically, they're getting as many hands on it as possible to try to get it done. If the NHL sends players overseas and there's no plan B and the arena doesn't work. Because the thing is, you want to get it tested. Apparently, normally for Olympic arenas, and I say apparently because I don't remember seeing an Olympics where the arena's not done yet. But normally they have it tested the year before the Olympics. They have run-throughs, they have test games, that kind of thing. And it doesn't look like they're going to have the time to get those done for this time around. So we know that the NHL sent people over to see what's going on after the GM meetings were done. And they're normally tested the year before. So the women's tournament starts February 5th. The men's tournament starts February 11th. We'll see if there's an arena for them to play in. We'll see how that all ends up turning out. I don't remember ever seeing anything like this. And obviously, and all kidding aside, the NHL's sending over its most talented best players. You want to make sure the ice is good. You want to make sure that the arena... You don't want to see somebody get hurt because the ice sucks. So that's why you got to get everything tested. You got to make sure all the systems work. And it looks like that's going to go down to the very last moment. So that'll be an interesting Olympic break if they're not able to play ice hockey. They're not going there to play ball hockey. So... yeah, that could be interesting. The Toronto Maple Leafs, I wanted to put this on the board because I watched the post-game interviews with the Maple Leafs, and I thought, this is probably going to aggravate some fans. This is the kind of talk that drives me nuts. The Leafs haven't won in regulation in their last 10 games. They've won 2 out of their last 10 games, neither of them regulation wins. And they're vowing to stay positive. They're giving all the rah. Joseph Wall talked about they're going to beat the horse to death. That's not the phrase. And it's used in the headline on TSN2. And I'm like, it's called beating a dead horse, not beating the horse to death. That's a completely different... No, that's just no. So they're vowing to stay positive after blowing the multi-goal lead against the Capitals. Oh, we're all going to work together, and we're hopeful. And a lot of cliches. A lot of cliches from the Toronto Maple Leafs right now, which makes me very, very frustrated listening to it. I don't like, and I understand why players do this. We've discussed why players don't want to throw each other under the bus. We've discussed why players just give those blank answers, but it has to be frustrating to hear that because they've been in this slump basically the whole season. They looked like they were pulling themselves out of that slump about 3 weeks into the season, and then they went right back into it. So, actions. There's got to be some actions, and I'm not sure what Brad Treliving's going to do, but it's on him. He's got to do something to change this. And as I mentioned in the video last night, talking about cap space and everything, the Leafs don't really have any. So, things are interesting in Toronto. Nikita Kucherov reached the seventh calendar year where he's had 100 points, and that includes playoffs as well. It's one of those records that the NHL keeps that we don't really think of very much as fans, of course. We just track season to season, basically. But with that 7th calendar year where he's recorded 100 points minimum, he ties Jaromir Jagr, Jari Kurri, and Peter Stastny for the most amongst non-North American born players. So, basically European-born players. And, good for Kucherov there. We'll see if he gets his 8th 100-point season in 2026. 800-point calendar year in 2026. I won't be surprised if he does. Nikita Kucherov is one of those ones, too, that we know. Hall of Fame, absolutely. It's just a matter of how much longer he plays. And he could definitely be one of those guys who goes into his mid-late 30s. Maybe he plays till he's 40. We'll see. He's just such a natural skater and such a natural talent. I could see him aging very well. At a time where a lot of players, you see their production drop off, I wouldn't be surprised if Kucherov resists that as long as possible. The Ottawa Senators have recalled Gilbert from the minors. This is in relation to Chabot being placed on IR. So Chabot goes on to IR. Gilbert gets recalled. The Seattle Kraken have activated Capo Kakko ahead of their game against the Edmonton Oilers this afternoon. And they've put Jaden Schwartz on injured reserve. So Schwartz won't be playing, but Kakko is activated and should be back in the lineup for Seattle today. So, yeah, there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below, as always, as now the Tampa Rangers game is about to get started. So I'll start watching that. And as I said, the first 3 games today, I'll be doing a review of that on its own. And then the other 8 games we'll be doing the review for, of course, later. And then I record the power rankings. So thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. Hit like and subscribe in the event you may not have done so already. Thank you guys so much for your time, for your attention, and I will talk to you again soon.